All right. Just so everybody out there, like we all just like everybody drooled instantly, but for everybody else, we have like 140 people watching. Just explain to them why that Mantine is so badass.
Yeah, so I mean, there's two more from the set. So basically, World they lost their license in 2003, and Wizards of the Coast had planned to basically print these cards in English. But because they hadn't been printed in English yet and Japanese was a year or two ahead, they invited a bunch of people to the World's tournament. So 2001, that was in Hawaii, Honolulu, Hawaii. 2002, same place. And so what they did for all the players, they printed the deck. So they all had the same deck. They printed it in the language of that player. So there's one Italian deck, there's one German deck, there's 8 English decks. And these are basically the English cards from those decks. So if you think like Protostoys, that's an unofficial sample, pre-release card, unofficially released. You got like the sample set from Expedition, not released, pulled from the factory. You got the FPO set, pulled from the factory, not a real release. It's literally from an employee. This is an official release by the Pokemon Company that was made for an event that has significance, that has backing, that has all the historical provenance that you need for a card. And it is one of the most unobtainable goals that you could ever have in the hobby. And I wanted this for a long time. I was basically bidding against Rusty and Charlie last probably 4 years. And they outbid me on the last 2 sets. And so this set came available privately. I've been talking to the seller for 2 years and did the deal and picked it up at World. So I was really happy to get that through Customs.
Yeah, that's
awesome. Congrats.
And the thing is, I love the fact that it was an actual release.
Yeah.
It was super limited, unintentionally super unintended, and it just makes it so much better than like some other stuff that we've seen some very shady.
That's the Jasmine's Raichu, ladies and gentlemen, but in English. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I never thought about it, but the other languages, you said there's one Italian and one German. Are those known where they are, or are those just, have they vanished, or?
I don't know where.
I did not know about that. I always just thought about there's 8 English, or 16, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a really well-known collector. I think he's found the Italian one. He went and bought that himself. So there's a few people that collect certain languages that I'm pretty sure they've sought out. I don't necessarily know everything everyone has, but if you were to bet me on who has the French set, I would probably tell you 1 or 2 guys that probably has it. I don't know if they have it or not, but they have the capital to buy it. But with this stuff, it's not can you buy it. It's who has it for sale. Who's even selling it. And so first Ed base Charizard, sure, just wait for it. The Illustrator at this point, just wait for it, it'll come up. Yeah. But VS, it's just who has it. You just don't even know who has it.
So
I thought I'd never run it.
Obviously we're still virtual because we're on this Zoom, but that is the most impressive thing.
We're not Zoom anymore. We've upgraded.
Sorry, we're on Discord. That is the most impressive thing I've ever personally seen somebody show me real time in my entire life. I've never.
Those are.
I never thought I'd see that.
Those are insane compared to much other stuff that gets so much attention. Those basically a 1 of 8. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen anything to do with extra copies of those.
Yeah. There's no such thing as extra copies, man. They would.
I don't think so.
I've just been so desensitized that see something like that is holy. I'll see so many things. Yeah, that's really cool. But the English set is that's awesome.
If I were you, I would just assume everything has extra copies. But I heard a really good example of something someone told me recently, and I'll use the exact quote he told me. But he said, even if this set had 30 copies, this set would still be worth what it's worth today because it's so rare, it's so hard to obtain, and it doesn't even. It's 30 is still a low number. Yeah. The set still has value. And when he told me that, I basically was all right, because I called a few friends and I was like, hey, because the guy I did it from, he wanted all cash, didn't want to do trade or anything. So I had to, come up with the amount that he wanted. And so I was telling him, hey, I'm moving a few different pieces to make this happen. Is this really the smart decision? Should I keep this Charizard or whatever? Because I sold a Charizard 10 to do it. And so it was is this a smart move? He's like, This will never really be available. It's a grail. It's something that doesn't come up. It has the provenance, has everything tied to it. And I felt like after talking to a couple people, I just had so much confidence that this was like, you know, a true like collectible, a true like just collection centerpiece. I knew the second to this deal, I'd never sell it. And sometimes when you get presented one of those opportunities, you either take it or you leave it. And I just wasn't ready to leave it.